When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0.
Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, subscribe for future updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. Now let's continue where we last left off in our story. After Deku did some quick research on Tartarus, the maximum security prison that was built specifically to hold powerful villains. After Deku got a few gadgets and put it in his pocket of his suit coat or jacket, he returned to the League of Villains base of operation, a random bar in the middle of the worst part of the city that crime frequently is occurring. Not many hero patrolled this area, and the police force specifically tried to avoid the area. Making this place the perfect nesting ground for villains, given Toga doesn't live too far away from the bar. That only proves his point of view. Deku walked into the bar, seeing Kirigiri calmly waiting for his return. Let's go. So how far can you teleport into this prison? According to what I found out on Tartarus, it is a maximum security prison that has several levels and all kinds of interesting defenses. And if this Lady Nagant was an ex-assassin for the safety committee, I'm guessing she would be on the lower levels. You are correct, but unfortunately I can only teleport us to the second level. We're going to have to descend the rest of the way down on foot. I do apologize. They have precautions for portal quirks, so that's as far as I could go. Once we're inside the prison, I should be able to use my portal quirk at my leisure. But we still have no location of Lady Nagant, so I can't simply portal next to her cell. Figured as much. Not disappointed. This is another perfect opportunity to run some field tests. With a couple of gadgets couple of my gadgets that I brought along, and with my new acquired super strength quirk, I'm still testing it out. Haven't fully seen the capabilities of my enhanced strength. You ready to leave, young Deku? Let's go. Let's get this over with. As you wish. As a portal opened up as the both of them step through it, to find themselves in Tartarus on the second level in some sort of janitor's closet. Deku put his metal face guard over the bottom part of his face, then proceed to walk out of the janitor's closet into a hallway, Kirigiri not too far behind. It didn't take Deku long to encounter prison guards, all wielding some sort of electric baton. As you can see, sparks of electricity emanating from the end of the security guards wielding the electric batons, basically. Deku rushed forward They were unaware of his presence. Deku connected with a vicious right hook to the back of the skull of the prison security guard. Once he let go of his electric baton in midair, Deku caught it. The unconscious guard loosened his grip on his weapon. Deku launched his new acquired weapon into the next guard's neck, electrocuting the man until he fell unconscious. Then proceeded to do a spin kick to the last prison guard, knocking him out. Deku dragged all three of the prison guards into the janitor's closet. Then he proceeded to find his way to the lower levels of Tartarus. Deku had to take care of several cameras that were on both paths of the wide hallway, with well-placed gaster blasters shooting energy out of their mouth, destroying camera after camera. Deku made sure his first stop would be the security room on the 3rd floor of the prison. He just has to find a way down there. Luckily for Deku, he found some stairs leading to the next level of the prison. The security room wasn't hard to find for Deku and Kirigiri. The problem was not finding the security room. The problem was on the 3rd level of Tartarus is heavily patrolled by prison guards. Getting to the security room unnoticed will be a tad bit difficult, but not impossible. There's a slight time window from each patrol. Only problem is, the time window is only a few minutes. That means they would have to get to the security room unnoticed, kill whoever's inside, then deactivate the camera feeds and alarms. Just hope no random prison guard walks into the security room while they're trying to descend to the lower levels of the Tartarus, of the maximum security prison, reactivating the alarms. Deku proceeds to pull out several round metal balls out of his jacket pocket and toss them into the hallway. When the balls finally stop rolling, they immediately open up and produce a very high-pitched sound, making all the security guards in the hallway cover their ears. The sound that these devices are producing can't be heard by the human ear. About time you noticed what was happening, it will already be too late. Seeing all the security guards temporarily subdued, Kirigiri opened several portals in the hallway, sucking all the security guards into his portal. As the portals reappeared in the middle of the ocean, as all the security guards fall into the water, as the portal shut immediately afterwards. Nice work. I had a feeling that's what you wanted. I figured I would make myself useful. I can see why I was assigned. I can see why I was assigned with you on this mission. Let's take care of this. When Deku entered the security room, he took out. Well, let's try this again. Before Deku entered the security room, he saw a security card on the floor in the middle of the hallway and picked it up and put it in his pocket. As he enters the security room, as he pulled out a gun with a silencer and shot all 3 of the security guards, watching the camera feeds. They haven't took notice They haven't took notice of Deku until it was already too late. It was a clean and swift kills. Deku pulled all the corpses in a nearby locker that's in the security room. As he proceeds to deactivate the cameras, they're still moving around. They're just not receiving any footage. But outside of that, they're completely deactivated. As Deku put a flash drive into the main computer that's connected to the mainframe of the prison, injecting a computer virus, it'll take several minutes to take full effect, but it'll keep the rest of the security guards busy, so they could do what they came here for without much trouble. They might come across a few stragglers on the way, but most of them will be worried about the computer virus. He might have to take out a couple of them, but it's nothing out of his capabilities to do so. Kirigiri turned his head towards Deku when he watched him shoot all through the security guards in the back of the head with a silencer pistol, as he was quite curious why he used a gun of all things. May I ask a question, young Deku? Why did he use a firearm? Wouldn't your quirk would be just as efficient as a firearm? Deku's response was quick and simple. It's never a good thing to rely slowly on your quirk alone. A simple firearm could do the job just nicely. It pretty much gives you the same results. Kirigiri, quiet and thinking over what Deku just said, the young villain beside him makes solid points. He couldn't find any flaws in his argument. True, guns can't do everything that a quirk can do. But with a firearm and proper skill, you could take down the most skilled hero with a single firearm if they weren't expecting it. He's finally understanding why Master All For One was so adamant about recruiting Deku. It was the main reason why they even considered recruiting the Vanguard Action Squad. Deku was their main target for recruitment. Dabi and Toga were just a plus. And the fact the young man seems to get along extremely well with the... And the fact that the young master seems to get along extremely well with young Deku make the whole process go a lot more smoothly. But he's going to hold his judgment on the young man until he gauged his character. Kirigiri could easily tell Master doesn't trust the Vanguard Action Squad or Deku, and Deku doesn't trust anyone in the league outside of that blonde named Toga that's always hanging around him. He might be friendly towards the young master, but it's clearly visible Deku doesn't trust him, always keeping him in view in case the young master tried to do something. Figures in time, it will most likely not be an issue. After all, it's only human nature to distrust and hate each other. It's in their base instincts, but the opposite is true. As well, when you're fighting a similar cause, bonds will be formed. It's just how humans are. A fascination species. Intrigued, Kirigiri. As a Nomu, he has no such emotions like hatred, anger, happiness, sadness. He's still a Nomu after all. But despite all that, he's indeed curious how Deku is going to handle recruiting Lady Nagant. He has his doubt that the woman will join the league, but he will never speak his mind, because that's not his station or his role that he has to play. His thought on the matter doesn't matter. His main duties are to keep the bar tip-top shape and look after the young master. He knows he's a slave, but he extremely enjoys his duties. This is his place in the world, and he'll fulfill his duties to his high standards that he's placed on himself. On Deku's side of things, he's been quite impressed by the portal villain that goes by the name of Kirigiri. He was able to catch on to his strategy without even asking him to do so. In hindsight, that's incredible, impressive, and dangerous. He would be a tough opponent to fight against if he ever stood on the opposite side of things with the league. Deku is not overly cautious guy, but he's going to have to be wary of Shigaraki and Kirigiri. They're both extremely dangerous for different reasons, but dangerous nonetheless. When Deku got to the 4th level of the prison, he had to stop his movement. Now there's several turret guns among the wall of the hallway. The security guard patrols seems to patrol the area without no worry about being shot by the very intimidating turret guns that's attached to the wall. Like they're able to move freely by the turret guns. Kirigiri watched Deku lean against the wall and peek on the other side to see several turret guns decorated all along the walls of the hallway, and several patrols patrolling the area. They still haven't noticed their presence just yet. Deku pulled out some sort of weird-looking grenade out of his pocket. By the looks of it, it seems to be pretty advanced technology, just from appearance alone. Do you need any assistance, young Deku? That won't be necessary. Sit down and watch a show. It's going to get quite gory, as Deku tossed several of the strange-looking grenades. When the grenades went off, they released some sort of glowing dust out of the grenades, like they were light particles. Suddenly, all the turret in the hallway turned hostile and opened fire on all the security guards, mowing them down. As blood decorated the entire hallway and floor, they were all massacred by their own defenses. Deku, I find you very terrifying. Most people do, Kirigiri. After all, the most dangerous villains are the ones that actually have intelligence. The pen is mightier than the sword, as the old saying goes. What type of grenades were those? I've never seen anything like it. Of course you haven't seen anything like it, because I created them myself. They're perfect for taking out or taking control over mounted turrets, depending on what type of grenade I use. Let's hurry along. It's only a matter of time before they catch on to what's going on. I would rather get to Lady Nagant before the alarms start going off. The elevator up ahead, Deku. Good call. Let's go see how far we can get when we use this elevator. It's most likely set to a certain level. At least, that's what I would do if I design a prison. May I ask, with your intelligence, why did he even become a villain in the first place? You could have easily been on top of your field, of your study. Judging by the pure intelligence you seem to have, from the short time I spent with you. I thought about it at one point, before I became a villain. I decided against it, because it's not my type of thing to follow regulations, rules. I'm a bit of a free spirit, and I just enjoy killing people. Though, don't be mistaken, I might be nice and cheerful sometimes, and polite when I need to be, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm a villain, and I won't hesitate to kill anyone that gets in my way. Outside of my favorite blonde, of course. Like I said, I'm a bit of a free spirit. Deku stepped into the elevator with his Nomu teammate and pressed the button onto the lowest setting that the elevator can take them. The elevator will only bring them to... This elevator will only bring him to level 6. Deku noticed immediately, level 6 was used to hold several villains in their cells. Their cell doors were thick metal doors, very hard to break into, without the proper keycard, but not impossible. We need to find a manifesto. It'll probably be easier to track her down. Yes, finding the list of prisoners on what level they're on would be convenient, but unfortunately, I was unable to get such information. Finding anything about Tartarus was extremely difficult. Agreed, it's a high maximum prison after all. Not surprising. Deku saw some panels in the middle of the room, most likely to shut and close the cell doors. The room itself has 2 stories, top level and the bottom level, filled with villains and other criminals that had the unlucky fate to reside in Tartarus. He also sees the room is filled with prison guards that just noticed his presence once he walked into the room. Once he walked further into the room. In the holding wing of the prison, Deku walked over to the large panel in the middle of the room. Once he pressed the button, all the doors to the cells proceed to open up, as the devices around the villain's neck turn red and drop to the ground, as all of their cork suppressor collars was off. Immediately afterwards, a riot began. The prison guards tried to subdue the prisoners. The prisoners are trying to kill the security guards, making a nice distraction for Deku. You planned this, didn't you? Not entirely. There was about a 5% chance of this situation occurring. Let's go. Deku began his walk towards the door to the other side of the room, on the bottom level of the holding wing. Deku took out his hunting knife and thrust the knife into the chest of one of the incoming guards, heading towards his direction. As he takes the the guard's key card that was attached to his uniform. Thanks. I'll be needing this. You don't mind, do you? As the guard dropped down to the ground dead, as Deku simply scanned the card to enter the next part of the prison, leaving the holding cells behind, as he could hear sounds of battle between the inmates and the prison guards. I gotta say, you're pretty prepared with all these gadgets you've been using. My late mother has always told me it's better to be over-prepared than not prepared at all. I took her advice to heart. She was a lovely woman, really. The memories of his mother going through his head put a warm smile on his face, behind his face guard mask, but that warm expression vanished instantly, and it was replaced with a blank expression on his face. Deku and Kirigiri managed to get to the next level. Suppose we probably should ask for directions. Grabbed one of the prison guards that wasn't paying attention where he was going, and grabbed him as Deku grabbed him by the neck and lifted him up in the middle of the air and slammed him against the wall. I do apologize for this, but I need some information, little guard dog. I'm looking for a woman, cold-hearted, rootless. She goes by Lady Nagant. Now, before you respond, little guard dog, just keep in mind I'm a villain, and I'm not shy about torture to get what information I need. Just keep that in mind. I'm pretty creative when I want to be, as Deku tightened his fist around the man's neck to get his point across. She's on level 20. You bastard villain, let me go. Most helpful, little guard dog. Without a single warning, Deku snaps the man's neck as the prison guard dropped down to the ground dead. Shall we get to level 20, Kirigiri? Indeed. Was it entirely necessary to kill him to get the information you wanted? I'm not disagreeing with your actions. I'm just out of curiosity. He was rude. I didn't take kindly to his tone of voice. Deku and Kirigiri managed to find and went down several prison elevators until they finally got to level 20. Deku started to rip the metal doors off the walls from each cell until he finds Lady Nagant. When he was about to grab the last one, spoke out loud. It's always the last one. As he was about to rip off the wall, until his phone went off. As he took his phone out of his pocket and put it against his ear, to hear a familiar voice that he recognized, his favorite blonde. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, Deku-kun. Nothing too important. I'm just in Tartarus, making a house call. What the hell are you in Tartarus for? I'm on orders. The boss wants me to recruit a certain person, but that's not important. How's your mission been? It's been going pretty well. I found and isolate one of the general studies students and kidnap them and place them in your lab. I hope you don't mind. Not at all, dear. Smart to keep her alive, so you could drain her blood, so you could keep your cover intact. It's still boring, though. I just missed you. I just wanted to hear your voice. Miss you too, Toga. Will you be back tonight at the apartment? I believe so. Good. I'll make dinner. I didn't know you knew how to cook. Of course I know how to cook, silly. I normally don't. Then I must be pretty special have the honor of eating your home-cooked meals. Toga giggled on the other side of the phone. I wish I could talk to you more, but duty calls. I'll see you tonight. I'll see you later tonight, Toga. Deku put his phone into his pocket as there were several prison guards on both sides of the hallway running towards him with their electric batons ready to electrocute at a single thrust. Deku extended both his hands on both sides of the hallway of the wing. A small gaster blaster formed over his fists like gauntlets as a beam of energy got shot out from both of Deku's gaster blaster's gauntlets. When they opened their mouths and shot a beam of energy, eclipsing the entire hallway, leaving nothing but piles of ashes where the prison guards once stood, as he proceeded to rip the door off the wall, revealing Lady Nagant in a prison jumpsuit on full alert. If that fighting style is anything to take in consideration, ready to strike at the single moment when it becomes violent. If you're here to kill me, I'm not going to go quietly. You got me all wrong, Lady Nagant. I'm not here to kill you. Far from it. That didn't make her feel any better. She's more suspicious of the young villain that she suspects he is by the attire and his attitude. I simply want to have a nice little chat with you. This is probably not the best atmosphere to have such conversation. Without warning, all three of them disappeared in a portal, reappearing on the beach somewhere outside of Japan. Where are we? I don't know by the foggiest, but I could tell you we're not in Japan anymore. Okay, we're not in Tartarus anymore, so talk. After the shock of changing sceneries disappeared, she became completely focused, right in and stared and fixed her facial expressions in a cold manner to the person in front of her. Dead quiet, only noise you could hear is the sounds of the water bashing against the nearby rocks that's on the beach. Deku broke the silence. I'm a part of the group called the League of Villains. And the League came across your name for a possible recruit for the League. For what? I'm not too sure myself. But knowing your past profession, I could take an educational guess. Not interested. My days as a mindless assassin killing innocent civilians is long past. Find someone else. That's a shame. It really is. After all, I did a lot of research on the whereabouts of the board members of the safety committee, including their addresses and the people who they associate with. Oh well, it can't be helped. Deku motioned his Kirigiri to follow his lead as Deku turned around and started to walk away. Not even a couple seconds later, Lady Nagant yelled back, "Wait!" Deku has a grin plastered on his face behind his face guard mask as he turns around to walk closer to Lady Nagant with his hands in his pocket. I'm strongly against this League of Villains, but if you truly have the intel of all the board members of the safety committee and their whereabouts, I'll join your little League of Villains on some conditions. I won't kill innocent civilians. Heroes I don't mind. Other villains, sure, why not? But I refuse to kill any civilians or children, especially women that are pregnant. The intel you seek, Lady Nagant, and for your conditions, You're gonna have to tell that to the boss man. Kirigiri, take us to Sensei. Second later, all three of them were in a dark room. As all you can see is a man hooked up to all sorts of devices, sitting on a chair. See, your mission was a success, Deku. Impressive. Lady Nagant will join. She just has a couple conditions. To be expected, my boy, but I'll leave that up to you. What do you mean? My boy, the infiltration of Tartarus in recruiting Miss Lady Nagant over here was a test I came up with. That's why I partnered you up with Kirigiri to oversee your performance. And the fact that you managed to get out of Tartarus without the heroes on a manhunt and recruited her was simply a test. So therefore, you recruited her, so she's part of your little team. She's your responsibility. It becomes the issue. It's up to you to deal with it. See, is there anything else you need, sir? You may go. Welcome to the League, Lady Nagant. They were teleported away as they reappeared in the bar. Holy shit, you actually did it. Take it by your expression. You really knew it was a test. Sorry about that, but Sensei wanted your test to remain a secret. Don't get too upset. I was put through several of these little tests that Sensei come up with. It's kind of a way of rite of passage when it comes to the League. Nice to meet you. I'm Shigaraki. I run the daily operations of the League of Villains. While the Sensei is not present, I'm the one who's boss. You probably already know, but I'm Lady Nagant. I'll leave her to you. Feel free to take any of the extra rooms upstairs. I'll have someone get you some new change of clothes. I'm going to get back to my game. Just holler if you need anything. I'll come by tomorrow, and we can discuss what's going to happen moving forward. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about our bargain. I'll give you the intel that you require. Here, as he tossed her an extra burner phone that he had on him. That's one of my extra burner phones. My number's are already installed on it. I have an important appointment I must keep. Deku left the bar to head over to Toga's apartment. It's starting to get dark. He doesn't want to be late. I need a drink. As she walked over to the bar to see the same clown man that was with the villain that recruited her, or rescued her. As she sat down, as Kirigiri placed a glass and started to fill it up with alcohol, as Lady Nagant gave Kirigiri a thankful nod and proceeded to drink her drink. When Deku walked into the apartment, it was pitch black, only signs of light that are visible are the candles on the kitchen table. Toga immediately greeted Deku when she felt his presence entered the apartment, wearing a tight, short red dress, showing a bit of cleavage. How do I look? Why don't you spin around for me? Aren't you a naughty boy? As she gave him a wink, as she spun around slowly for Deku to get a good look at her figure. You look enchanting as always. You were always a flatterer. Come sit down. I just finished dinner. As she led Deku to the kitchen table in the apartment, as they both sat across from each other and began eating and having small conversations with each other. So I take it your mission was a success? That it was. Apparently, it was a test to see how I handle pressure and probably some other unknown reasons that I haven't came clear to me just yet. Apparently, she is my responsibility now. Wait, you didn't say it was a she. Toga is clearly upset by her facial expression that she's displaying on her face. Wait, you can't be jealous, can you? Damn straight I'm jealous. I don't like other females being too close to you. You have nothing to worry about, my little vixen. I don't have any intention of getting involved with any other female, outside of you, of course. You're all I need. Sorry, I might have overreacted. You know I trust you, you know that, right? Of course I do, I trust you as well, Toga. Deku got up and sat back down right next to Toga, as he placed his food right in front of him, as he proceeded to eat, as they hold each other, as they both hold hands while they're eating. After dinner, they had some red wine and went to the balcony. Toga wrapped Deku's arms around her waist, as they gaze upon the stars. I might not like the fact that we won't be seen as much as I would like between us, but I have to keep my cover intact. Has anyone become suspicious yet? Not one bit. The girl's parents were too easy to fool. I told good old Mom and Pop I'll stay over at a friend's house tonight, and they bought it like suckers. Apparently the person I chose was a little goody-goody two-shoes, never once rebelled against her parents. It's so boring. Toga pouted. Toga started to shiver from the cold, so Deku led her back inside. Toga proceeded to push Deku onto the bed as she dropped her red dress from her as it falls to the floor. As she gets on top of him, proceed to kiss him. The next morning, he woke up with Toga wrapped around his waist like normal, resting her head on his chest with a smile on her face, sleeping peacefully. Deku didn't want to get up. He was enjoying this quiet moment. Deku's not an idiot. He knows he's fallen for the blonde, but he's never been one for labels. Deku might not use the term girlfriend to label their relationship with each other, but that doesn't change the fact that the crazy blonde that's laying on his chest is his and he is hers. He won't outright say it. Morning. As Toga got up and stretched her arms while yawning at the same time. You seem to sleep very well. Of course I did. I always feel more relaxed when I'm sleeping in the same bed with you. So, what's your plan today? I need to go down to the bar and touch base with Lady Nagant, and probably help her out. Help her out? With what exactly? Some pintle pushers that need to die. Sounds a lot more fun than going to a boring hero school. As Toga complained, I'm having speaking issues today apparently, so I do apologize. This is the next time we can spend some good quality time with each other. I don't know, love. It's going to be quite busy. The sports festival is fast approaching, so I'll be stuck at that blasted school. If I disappeared, people will start to ask questions. Then eventually, someone will get suspicious. I understand. I'm going to miss you greatly. I'm going to miss you as well. It kills me to be away for you for 24 hours. I don't know how I'm going to handle for long periods of time. But regardless of that, I expect a phone call from you daily. Of course, I'll call you every day. You better. As Toga snuggled back down, as Deku and Toga laid in each other's arms, until they had to get up and get dressed. Deku walked into the bar to see Lady Nagant waiting for his arrival. I see you got out of those ugly jumpsuits. Come on, we could talk freely in my lab. Lab? Yes, you heard correctly. After all, I consider myself a scientist. To say Lady Nagant was surprised was a understatement when she got to the lab to see all the different type of high-tech technology, even a couple she doesn't recognize. Deku took out several files from his file cabinet that was placed in the lounge area of the laboratory as they both sat down on the couch. This is what I've gathered so far. There's a couple members of the board I couldn't find just yet. It's only a matter of time before I pin down their location. Thank you. No problem. Shall we get going? What do you mean? I figured you'd want to start your little revenge. I'm surprised you want to tag along with me. It sounds like fun. And considering technically we are a team now. Think of it as team bonding. Exercise. A team that murders together, stays together. You know you're very unnerving, how cheerful you're about murder. I'm a psychopathic villain / mad scientist. It comes with the territory. And that's where we're going to stop it. I hope you guys have a good night and day. Judge my time zones. And I'll catch you in the next video.